The cold weight of the company BMW key fob pressed into her palm as Ashley rode the elevator to the 14th floor. The title of director at the tech firm Nexus Solutions had been hers for exactly 2 months now, hard-won after 18 grueling months as the deputy. 500,000 a month. That number thrummed in her mind, a tangible beacon. It was the key to their future, the down payment on a house that felt perpetually out of reach, finally within grasp. The moment she pushed the apartment door open, her husband's voice, thick with displeasure, sliced through the quiet. "Ashley, finally!" Derek stood in the middle of the kitchen, arms crossed like a disapproving sentinel. The dinner table was bare. In the sink, a precarious tower of unwashed plates and glasses threatened to topple. The stovetop gleamed with old, sticky grease stains. From the living room floated the commentary of her mother-in-law, Marilyn, her voice synced to the angry buzz of a cable news talk show. "See this? This is what's wrong nowadays. No respect, no values. Everyone's forgotten what matters." "Where's dinner?" Derek's gaze was an accusation. "I got home at 7, it's past 9. Ashley kicked off her heels, feeling the deep throbbing ache of a 10-hour day settle into her bones. Investor meetings, back-to-back strategy sessions, a last-minute pitch deck that had to be perfect. "Derek, I'm sorry, it was a marathon today. I'll throw something together quick." "Throw something together," he parroted, his tone sharp. "And what was I supposed to do for the last 2 hours? Photosynthesize?" She opened the refrigerator. The interior light revealed leftovers from 2 nights ago and a partial package of deli meat. "You could have heated up the soup, made a sandwich." "A sandwich?" His voice climbed. "What am I, a college kid? I'm 28, Ash, a married man. I work my tail off all day and I come home to a sandwich?" "Please don't shout. I get it, but since the promotion, the hours are just relentless. 10, 12 hours some days." "No kidding, they're relentless." He flung a hand toward the sink. "The evidence is everywhere. Is the soap fairy coming to do the dishes? Does the dust wipe itself? Look at this place, Ashley. You've stopped being a wife. You're like a ghost who sleeps here sometimes." A heavy silence filled the space between them. She ventured a hesitant suggestion. "Derek, maybe your mom could help sometimes, just with the dishes or heating something up." "Are you serious?" he exploded, the force of his anger hitting her like a physical wave. "My mother is not well, you know that. Her blood pressure's all over the map. Her knees are shot with arthritis. It's painful for her just to walk. And you want to turn her into your maid?" On cue, Marilyn's voice carried from the living room. "What's all that noise? Sweetie, don't get upset on my account. My knee's acting up today, but I took my pills. Are you two arguing about my ailments again?" "You hear that?" Derek jabbed a finger toward the sound. "She's in pain, and you, my God, what happened to the woman I married? The one who made a home, who cooked, who cared?" Ashley felt a hot, tight lump rise in her throat. "I'm trying, believe me, and I didn't take this job on a whim. We need this money. The house, the mortgage." "Money, money." He grabbed his jacket from the back of a chair, his movements jerky with frustration. "I'm sick of hearing about it. I'll get dinner out. I can't stand being in this nut house anymore." The door slammed, a final, echoing punctuation mark. Ashley stood frozen in the kitchen's fluorescent glow, staring at the monolithic pile of dishes. Silent tears traced paths down her cheeks. In a way, he was right. The home had become an afterthought, but the fatigue was a lead blanket, and the money was the only bridge to the future they said they wanted. The next morning, Derek left for work without a word. Ashley had risen at 5, a small, desperate act of domestic penance, scrubbing the kitchen and setting out breakfast. Marilyn emerged in her robe just as Ashley was grabbing her bag. "Sweetheart, you didn't make oatmeal?" her mother-in-law asked, eyeing the sliced fruit and toast with clear dissatisfaction. "My doctor says a warm breakfast is crucial for digestion." "I'm sorry, Marilyn, I didn't have time. I was up late cleaning." Of course. Why was my boy so upset last night?" Ashley didn't answer, letting the apartment door click shut behind her. The office day was a blur of familiar routines, meetings, reports, partner calls. It wasn't until late afternoon that she realized her mind hadn't been on market analytics at all, but on a single looping question: how does anyone do it all? She got home at 8:30. Derek was glued to his computer, the sounds of a video game bleeding from his headphones. The kitchen bore fresh evidence of a haphazard meal. He'd eaten, but the effort ended there. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey," he grunted, not looking away from the screen. She changed and went straight to the stove. Half an hour later, the smell of frying onions and potatoes drew him out. "Listen, I've been thinking," he said, leaning against the doorway. "Maybe you should look for something else, something lower key." The spatula stilled in her hand. "Something else?" "Yeah, being a director, it's not really for women. Too much stress, too much responsibility. Find a part-time gig, something with flexibility. You'd be home more." "Derek, the salary, the down payment." The down payment," he waved dismissively. "We're saving for a house and losing our home. What's the point of the money if my wife is a phantom?" She served him a plate. He took a bite of the potatoes and winced. "Too salty." "Sorry." "You never used to overseason. See, you're even forgetting how to cook." After dinner, as she washed dishes and he returned to his game, Marilyn's commentary rose above the television. "In my day, wives knew their place. Now everyone's a CEO. The world's gone mad." Ashley pondered Derek's words in the soapy water. Was he right? Should she step back? But that meant goodbye to the house, goodbye to the quiet pride she'd just begun to feel, the thrill of a problem solved, a team led. The next days were a carbon copy. Work until her eyes burned, frantic attempts to cook and tidy, Derek's simmering discontent, Marilyn's not-so-subtle lectures on traditional values. Then, on Friday, the pivot point arrived. Ashley walked in at 7, a minor miracle, her day having wrapped early. Derek was at the kitchen table, humming, shuffling through papers, his mood visibly buoyant. "Hey," she ventured, "you seem cheerful." "You're back." He looked up, a wide, triumphant smile on his face. "You're about to be cheerful too, because I solved our problem." "What problem?" "What do you mean, what problem?" He set the papers down. "The house, your job, this whole chaos." She slowly took a seat opposite him. "Solved it how?" "It's simple. Since you're now the big-shot director making $500,000 and can't possibly quit, I took the initiative. I quit my job." The floor seemed to liquefy beneath her feet. "You what?" "Gave my notice today," he beamed, radiating self-congratulation. "Now I'll manage the home, the basics anyway, and you'll support us. Problem solved." Marilyn's approving voice floated in. "That's my boy. Why strain yourself when your wife brings in that kind of money?" Ashley sat in stunned silence. Only one thought echoed in the void. What is happening? "Are you joking?" The words finally clawed their way out. "Not at all." Derek leaned back, lord of his new domain. "I've crunched the numbers. Your salary covers everything, with plenty to spare." "Derek, you had a great job. 100,000 is serious money, and you were up for a promotion in 6 months. You said so yourself." "Maybe, maybe not," he shrugged. "A family only needs one career. It's either you or me. This way, we're not both failing at everything." "But to quit without even talking to me?" What was there to discuss? His shrug was a masterpiece of indifference. Look at this place. Dust bunnies, a sink full of dishes. We live on takeout. I refuse to live like this. From the living room, he's right, dear. A home needs a foundation. And what's a home without a homemaker? Well, you know what I mean. Ashley shot an irritated glance toward the living room. Marilyn had lived with them for 3 years. Her peak contribution was washing her own teacup. Sometimes. Marilyn, Ashley said, unable to hold back. Couldn't you help out sometimes? Just heat some soup? Load the dishwasher? Ashley, honey, Marilyn's voice turned plaintive. The arthritis. The doctor said no strain on the joints. And my blood pressure. See? Derek frowned. She's unwell, and you're trying to put her to work. Unbelievable. I'm not putting her to work. She's home all day. She's retired. She worked her whole life. She's earned her rest. Ashley's hands curled into fists. Marilyn had been a clinic nurse, retiring at 55. Yes, she had arthritis. It didn't stop her from shopping or visiting friends 3 times a week. Listen, Ash, Derek stood and approached her. You're the one who said you couldn't keep up. Now you don't have to. I've got this. What specifically will you have? Well, he pondered, I'll maintain order, cook simple meals, do the grocery run. Laundry, deep cleaning, ironing? Tossing clothes in a machine isn't rocket science, and we can hire a cleaner weekly. Our new budget allows for it. So you'll hire someone to clean, but you won't clean? Why would I, when we can pay a professional? He seemed genuinely puzzled. My time is better spent on creative pursuits. I'm looking at photography courses, maybe even start a business. Watching him, Ashley knew argument was futile. The decision was made, the fantasy constructed. He, the artistic visionary, she, the family provider. And these courses cost, she asked, exhaustion seeping in. 50 grand for the full program, plus gear. Derek, what if I hit trouble at work? What if I get laid off? You won't. You're great at your job. But if I am? We'll figure it out, he shrugged. Maybe my photo business will be up and running. The conversation was over. The bridges were burned. All that remained was to see how the new world would unfold. Hey, while you're following Ashley's journey, have you ever faced a similar imbalance in a relationship? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into stories like this. The first 3 weeks were, against all odds, a golden era. Derek attacked his new role with gusto. The vacuum hummed daily, surfaces gleamed, dinner was ready at 7, the fridge was stocked, the sink empty. Coming home felt like entering a parallel, peaceful universe. Marilyn nodded from her throne on the sofa. Now this is how it should be, a man taking charge of his castle. You're doing amazing, Derek, Ashley said one night, savoring his creamy lemon herb chicken. I don't remember the last time I had a home-cooked meal this good. He glowed with pride. Risotto tomorrow, your favorite. Met this guy in my photography class, actually. Owns a bistro. Says food photography is huge right now. Really? She looked at him, feeling a flicker of the old connection. Yeah, I'm thinking that could be my niche. Restaurants, cafes, the market's massive. When he asked for $40,000 for a starter camera and lens, Ashley didn't hesitate. The transformation was real. He'd found a passion. Their budget could absorb it. Of course, if this is your path, go for it. But the shift began barely a week after the gear arrived. Ashley came home to no dinner. Derek was deep diving into photography forums. Derek had a long day, dear, Marilyn explained, working on his portfolio. It's fine, Ashley smiled, though it felt tight. I'll whip something up. The next day, same story, and the next. The computer became his anchor, and the apartment began its slow slide back into familiar disorder. Derek, what about the cleaning? She asked on a Saturday, pointing to dusty shelves. I'll get to it, he muttered, eyes on the screen. Can't you see I'm working on something important, building my brand? And dinner? We'll order in. We can afford it now. Within a month, the house had fully regressed to its pre-Derek as homemaker state. His financial requests, however, did not regress. "I need a prime lens," he announced at breakfast. "Can't get professional shots without it." "How much?" The question was automatic, weary. 30,000, and a professional tripod, 15. "That's the third tripod this month." "The others aren't for macro work," he snapped. "Don't try to be an expert in things you know nothing about." The tension was a living thing in the apartment. The final straw came when Ashley gave him cash for groceries and found, 2 days later, a near-empty fridge holding only yogurt and wilted lettuce. "Derek, where's the food?" "What food?" He didn't look up from his monitor. "The grocery money I gave you." "Oh, that. Got a softbox for my lighting setup. Essential piece of kit." "Derek!" Her composure shattered. "What are we supposed to eat?" "We'll order a pizza. We won't starve." In that moment, with crystalline clarity, Ashley knew, this ends now. The solution presented itself during a Monday morning stand-up. A colleague, Sarah, was venting about her cleaner. "Can you believe she wants a raise? The effort is minimal." "What do you pay her?" Ashley asked, an idea sparking. 30,000, for 3 days a week." A slow, determined smile spread across Ashley's face. "Thank you, that's very helpful." That evening, she entered the apartment with the calm of a general. Derek was at his computer. Marilyn was mid-series. "Family meeting," Ashley announced, clicking off the TV and closing Derek's laptop lid. "The nerve," Marilyn huffed. "Sit, now." Derek slouched to the table. "If this is about the dishes again, I told you a creative mind needs—" "Be quiet and listen," she said, her voice steel. "Derek, you quit 2 months ago. In that time, you've spent 150,000 of our money on your photography hobby. Result? 0 clients, 0 paid jobs. The house is a disaster. I'm in the development phase. A phase I'm funding. New rules, effective tomorrow." She pulled out a notepad. "Since you're the homemaker, you get a homemaker's salary. My colleague pays 30,000 for a cleaner 3 days a week. You're on duty 7 days. I'll pay you $50,000 monthly for your expenses and your courses. The rest of the money I earn is mine." His eyes bulged. "You've lost your mind. I'm your husband, not your employee." "Then go be an employee. Get a job." "And who runs the house?" "I'll hire a professional for 30,000. She'll actually work." Marilyn tried to interject. "Ashley, you can't speak to him like—" "Marilyn," Ashley turned to her, "you're part of this household. You contribute. Your pension is 25,000. You'll contribute 15 for rent and shared groceries. The rest is yours." "Excuse me?" Marilyn gasped. "That's my money." "And this is my apartment. The food you eat is bought with my money. Want to live rent-free? Help maintain the home. If not, you pay your share." Derek turned crimson. "What are you doing? We're a family." "Exactly, a family, where everyone contributes, not where one person financially carries 2 capable adults." "But I am contributing. I'm managing the home." "Then manage it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Daily upkeep, laundry, shopping. No more requests for gear. 50,000. That's the deal." "And if I say no?" He crossed his arms, defiant. "You start job hunting tomorrow, and I call the agency for a cleaner." "This is an ultimatum." "This is equity," she replied, her calm unwavering. "For 2 months, I've funded your leisure and listened to your complaints. It stops now." Marilyn began to sniffle. "Sweetheart, I can't believe this." "Mom, don't," Derek paced, agitated. "She's on a power trip, got a fancy title, now she thinks she's royalty." "So that's a no?" Ashley clarified. "We need to think about it," Derek muttered. "You have until tomorrow. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going out to dinner, on my own dime." Nothing changed. Marilyn remained a sofa-bound commentator. Derek didn't job hunt or generate income, yet his requests for investment funds continued. 2 weeks later, fate handed Ashley the perfect opportunity. They left for a weekend visit to a relative, doubtfully to complain about her, Ashley thought. On Saturday morning, with methodical precision, she packed their belongings and placed the suitcases in the hallway. She called a locksmith and had every lock on the apartment door changed. When they returned Sunday evening to pounding and shouts, she felt nothing. She turned her music up and sipped her tea, the noise just distant, irrelevant static. On Monday morning, on her way to the office, she stopped by the courthouse and filed for divorce. She was no longer running a subsidized retreat for capable adults who chose not to participate. Her new life on her own terms began today. All events and characters in this story are fictional.